The number 7 ranked team in the world should not be going to OT on that against rank 34. That should be done. It wasn't though, and we head straight to Dust2. Already frags on the board, and this time Big Clan looking to make a name for themselves. Man advantage found out towards the early long control. And well, Big will back out of that situation again, splitting the CT defense. Hats trying to get what he can done in middle, but Tabson just a little too clean. And already some of my worries for Renegades are starting to come to life. This situation where after all the effort, all the emotional energy thrown into coming back on Inferno, you've now got to go straight back in at that level again on Dust2. And well, a 3v1 for Malta to start things off, needing 4 kills in the round, is not how Renegades would have wanted to start their CT side of Dust2.
No, certainly not, but I mean, we've seen them come back from the slow starts on both halves back on Inferno, and well, Malta had been in this position quite a few times. I don't think was really pulling off the clutches, but was normally pulling off a few kills at least, and well, we are seeing that. Unfortunately, I don't think he expects this flank that's getting prepared to come in from behind. Taking his time even. Oh, okay, that could have been dangerous. He was 5 health, so if he hadn't got that there on the second shot, he very easily could have been taken down, and then suddenly a winnable one-on-one for Malta. So that got a little bit dangerous, but no, Big, they are able to at least put a stop to the round in the end and take themselves that 1-0 lead here on the T side. It's Dust2, so another map where we are expecting strong T sides to be coming in. But I mean, I think the force buy here is a little bit more viable, especially when you bring out these scouts. We're only going to see the one, but even then, get a couple tags with that scout. Suddenly the Deagles become incredibly dangerous, and if you do it the other way around where the Deagles tag down a few players, then the scout is basically an AWP. Obviously though, not a great start for Sicko there, being tagged up on his crossover. Not the worst, but I mean, when you're already lacking the weaponry across the board and the nades, you don't want to be taking early damage. I like this though. I think they're just jump peeking, waiting to drop some nades in on tunnels, which it could work eventually, but I don't think we're really seeing them getting ready for the push quite yet. The initial moments anyway, we were just holding for that aggression, but they will move right back around after showing some initial presence just over towards long and such. So this will be interesting. Could certainly be dangerous. Out through a tight choke point, we know the pistols can get a lot of damage done in this position.
Good support though, Alistair behind the big box, finds his initial tag, HE to follow, Sicko doing more work with the scout. Everybody's low at this point, a lot of damage on the board, but Alistair can't quite find the conversion. A couple of players tagged desperately low as Antares does look to get those digits piled in, but B-bomb site retakes. Just nightmare fuel realistically. Sicko, the boosted angle, there's a tiny gap here that potentially he can look to abuse, but Keto is giving him nothing, toying with him as Antares takes out Malta, and yeah, that's so unfortunate for Renegades. Sicko will hang about, see if he can catch anything at all. He actually spots a man out, I think, but as that smoke starts to fade, they've got to consider their options, and well, you're not getting back into that B-bomb site. So little time left on the clock, no defuse kits. Exit frags maybe, trying to catch a timing through a smoke, and with a low HP player it is viable, but Big are going to get away with it. All 4 players kept alive despite some serious damage. 8 HP on Keto, 18 on Xantares even, but just not quite able to get it done. Second round on the board, T side for Big Clan. A couple of deals and a scout save to give Renegades a little bit more bite into round 3, but realistically this should be a clean 3-0 start for the Germans.
Oh man, it looked so well set up for Renegades right there. If that nade got off, I think half a second earlier, probably would have maybe even taken a kill and done some extra damage on top. The initial frag even went their way to the deagle that was on the platform, and as you said, a couple of scout shots that were missed that really could have brought it in their favour right there for Renegades. But they've still got a bit at least to work with here. They can get another couple of kills, they can try and at least do some damage and hopefully not let Renegades build up too ridiculous of an economy in these opening rounds. The thing is, it's another B hit that's coming through. This time there's not even a player in position for Renegades, but there is a couple outside the door, including the scout, who's gone ahead and taken off the head of Tabson. So I mean, there's not a lot for them to really lose in this round, to be fair, considering it was just what they saved from that previous round. So Renegades right now, they may as well try and just make this costly, give it a go, see if you can get another couple of kills, and who knows, maybe even make it work. They are at the moment though waiting for that long flank to come around there from, I believe it's Inns, with that secondary scout that they've stolen away. At this point without the kit though, it's no longer winnable, but you have them trapped in on B.
Car save becomes the real issue, right? No HE to really punish it. Pushing out, Citizen will be dealt with by Sicko, as you said, making this expensive for Big Clan. They're trying to keep these players pinned into the site as much as possible. Tizian's actually taken Malta down through the smoke, and as
nice
Tizian deals with the next, there's lots of damage on the board, and Inns might want to give this a go. One man goes down, and yeah, Inns will find the second conversion. The bomb gets one done. So all 5 rifles dropped for Big Clan, and there was a fair few AKs on the board as well. Inns will be able to save one of those across. Not a bad look for Renegades, considering how little they brought into the round. The question is, can they find the response now they get the rifles?
Yeah, really good work in the end. I mean, that last second scout shot even being hit to take Xanthars out and then obviously allow him for the trade out through tunnels. So we'll see if Renegades get this first gun round. They're going to be in a fantastic position, but the balls on that. Alistair just wanted to walk out the mid doors. The rest of the T is now just going to go ahead and commit towards B with the advantage rather that they'd already snatched away. And with only one from Hats, it's not enough. This gun round, unless they get a kill here immediately on mid, which Saracen doesn't need to give them a chance to even take, I was going to say should just be the save. They do manage to catch him at least because of the mid flank that was coming in, and the bomb's only going down right now, so it is still achievable. They've got a few nades across the board, a couple of mollies, a couple of smokes, a few flashes as well, so it is doable, definitely, but if they don't get a quick kill, then it's still going to be incredibly difficult. Oh, nice molly. Should force Tizian out. I was going to say the no-scope there could have even connected, but Tabson is able to get one, as the smoke was, of course, covering the vision, and, well, at this point in the 2-on-2, Renegades are just not being given any openings in. Going to say it was even a bit risky there for initially Tizian in the back corner to be taking the fight, but he won it out, and then he took the attention for Keto then to catch the player moving into the window. So 4-0. Yeah, the peak on mid there initially from Alistair was very ballsy.
It was a big call. Didn't work out whatsoever, though, and gives Big that 4-0 off the back of it. This is where life can start to get awkward on Dust2. T-side are rolling. Some good rounds on the board. Not too built up financially, I do have to say, but another awkward look for the CT side. One AWP in the hands of Malta, everybody else down on those Deagles. Just trying to find any kind of connection. Alistair actually will find it, fully blinded, but the quick trades do come through. Hat's trying to do what he can. I mean, again, they're making this expensive, Renegades. 3-on-2, and with an AWP still in sight on that bomb site, this isn't done yet. Inns takes some damage, will have to reset and fall off his angle, and yeah, the CT side, they've got absolutely no information. As soon as this AWP sounds, it should be falling off, but it's going to be the 1-for-1. Disson takes him out as Tabson is felled, and well, Inns, 66 HP, a Deagle, no armor, thrown into the 1v2. How do you even play this? Big have snuck their way up long. Inns on the long flank through mid, potentially looking to post himself on short. Of course, that AWP utterly unrecoverable, and yeah, the Deagle going to give it a go from short. Plant relatively safe. No rifles to be recovered. Going to need a crisp headshot to start things off if Inns wants to make a go of this. The nade will give away his position as well. And Big, I don't think they're going to give him anything at all. Just crouching, holding their positions. Headshot angle not going to land. Tizian takes out his man. The 4-0 is converted into the 5-0. I mean, it's expensive. Again, sure, 3 rifles go down. But Renegades, they need to start getting some CT rounds on the board. They need to start punishing this economic pressure that they're putting on Big.
Yeah, similar to what we've seen in the beginning of Inferno, but I mean, I think even a little bit more dominant in how some of these important rounds at least are going. Obviously, the economy still hasn't built up for Big, with the 5-0 even going their way, but they're on the T side where it's not quite as difficult to be able to keep those buys going as long as you can start getting bomb plants and such down once the loss bonus especially does start to build. So at the moment, they're happy with just taking these round wins and being able to build up the lead, of course. I like this, though. This time they swapped it up slightly by taking the short control, but it seems like they're very set in stone about abusing B throughout this game. Not going to be allowed to do so in the initial moments here anyway, as there was the op there to catch the first player who peeked in, and I believe that was on short then as well, where the second frag has actually gone the way of Renegades. So easily the best position we've seen them way early in one of these rounds, and it should be one that they're likely able to go ahead and convert on. But I mean, you say that and then you realize it's Xanthar, Saracen and Keto that are left to try and recover the situation, and you know that these 3 names are more than capable of doing so. And well, they're bringing it in towards middle. There is no smoke, unfortunately, actually, for the CT spawn, so it's all about trying to catch a kill from it, I believe. And that's a pretty aggressive angle being taken by Inns, but he does have help from the car. So a player up behind them, and, well, that's not even needed. Inns catches the first player out on mid, and even does some good damage to allow for Alistair to then be there for the trade. He had the op anyway, so that didn't even really matter. But, yeah, stronghold, they only end up losing the 1 player, and that's exactly how you need to get your feet on the ground for that first round, in a clean fashion. Because, obviously, if you live with 1 or whatever, then you can't afford to keep the buy going. You'll be left with weaknesses, especially when it's this double op setup. So yeah, a good showing from Renegades there.
Big immediately taking the timeout, however, as soon as the momentum starts to swing ever so slightly away from them, just completely stalling things out. And you can understand it, because Renegades have got an opportunity now to start finding conversions. That economic pressure that they've held onto for pretty much 5 rounds straight, despite being in losing positions, is paying off significantly. Despite the 5-0 start, Big will not be able to buy into this round. Or will they? There's a force going on a few players. There's very awkward buy. They are going to go for it eventually. It's a little slow, but 3 players going down to near nothing gives it away. 4 Deagles and a Scout trying to find the instant punishment in response. And to be fair, with double AWP setups, it's viable. Alistair, though, removing the Scout of Searson. It's tag traded. How much can these Deagles get done? Nice aggression from Inns. If he times this well, should be a freebie. Tizian jumping. No way he's landing that with the Deagle, and the information surely there now. The Molotov perfectly shrouds his escape, and nobody from Big can contest that FAMAS, so all the information Renegades could need there. Plenty of presence as a result of it. Big left to reconsider things. 2 early frags go against them. That B hit that they've almost been anchoring on and has been pretty successful thus far, suddenly not seeming like such a viable option, as the bomb will make its way all the way back to spawn, and Tabson actually going to nab himself a Scout to try and do some damage.
Yeah, if they try and face in on mid though, that was actually landed by Alistair. Brosanther is down to 4 with the wall bang. As you said, the Scout had been retrieved at least there for Tabson, so maybe a little bit can be done with that, but they're going to need some clean shots, and before they're even getting to see anyone, the health of all of these players is being chipped away at. Keto's still on 100, but I mean, you had the nade on Tabson, the wall bang onto Xanthars. It's just making things as complicated as possible, trying to deny anything from being found here for Big. And, well, they might not be able to stop the bomb plant. It is potentially there. As, yeah, indeed, Keto's just going to be able to stick through it. Actually winning the round, though, pretty much impossible. If Keto got that kill, then maybe there would have been a bit of a chance to play off at a short control. But, well, Xanthars, despite giving his best effort, is just completely outnumbered. A couple of nice shots, though. That's what I want to see from Xanthars. A map like Dust2 is one where you really think Xanthars is going to get into his own as well, because he's been a bit quieter. Obviously, he was the one, I think, at the bottom of the scoreboard on Inferno, which, I mean, fair enough, his teammates were, when they were winning anyway, were doing a lot of the heavy lifting, so he wasn't really getting as many chances. I think he was taking it a bit more passive, especially on the CT side. But I think Dust2 is where you definitely want Xanthars to be showing up alongside the opposite Searson, especially.
Definitely feels like it could be their map if they can take control of it. And, well, a little bit of flash with the Deagle. He's still here. He's still ready to work. Big, though. Back in the doldrums. Pistols out, Deagles, techs. I like that they give Xanthars the Deagle again after 2 really clean headshots. Just go see what you can get done. See if we can find a pick somewhere on this map. Maybe start to open things up, as again, B clearly an area of this map that they've spotted some kind of weakness in how Renegades play it. They want to target it. The nade does just that, and an isolated AWPer not going to hit his shot. Alistair goes down, and, well, Hats just a split second too late on this rotation, and life suddenly becomes oh so difficult for the CT side. He tries to go through, and Tizian is able to punish as well. 5 on 3. This was the eco. This was just the few pistols they could scramble together, and, well, that weakness that Big have identified is clearly paying dividends. Tabson even trying to remove the rifle from Malta will be punished by Sicko. But man, those are rounds that Renegades have to be converting on. If they want to make this series happen, if they want to take their maiden win of Pro League Season 13, they have to be dealing with those ecos, those sort of half buys where occasionally there's a few pistols, and not just hand gift wrapping and delivering an AWP to the likes of Keto.
Oh lord. Yeah, no, can't be losing rounds like this at all. Again, it really seems like Big have it out for the B bomb site defenders, and it's a position they seriously want to exploit. We're not even seeing a lot of the short control. I think the few rounds we had short control coming in for them, they only sent like 1 player up. We haven't seen them getting out long really in the early moments either. So yeah, I mean, that B bomb site is just being exploited to bits. We see obviously enough for a rebuy, thankfully, for Renegades, despite losing that round. But now they're on the brink of potentially being broken if they do end up losing this one. They'd get 2,900, yeah, but it wouldn't be enough for Alistair, Inns, or Hats to buy. You'd have to just take the 1 eco most likely at that point, and then you'd be letting Big really run away with a fantastic lead. So this is giving Big a huge opportunity right now, and we'll see whether they can capitalize on it. It does seem like they might want to have a bit of pressure towards long. I think that's just flashes going over. It was actually Tabson right there who was initially heading towards the longhouse with the bomb on his own. So I wasn't expecting the quick rush. But that might work out for them, because at this point now Inns has actually fell back off to the car. So if they do want to go get that long control, they can do so pretty easily, at least for the initial stages. But for the moment, a default across the map, and, well, I guess trying to feel out what exactly Renegades are going for. They've even seen that bit of aggression that was coming in. So they might try and either exploit that area or potentially exploit around middle.
Just probing away at this CT side defense at the moment, trying to bleed out the utility, doing a good job as well as Keto, well, a less good job as he chews on the nade, but draining the utility of the CT side early on, and now they do go for that delayed long control, and as you said, In's nowhere to be found. Damage actually being done through the smoke on shore. He's down to 24 HP, and with that pressure being applied, this split towards the A bomb site looking all the more viable. It's Sicko on the bomb site itself, but his support is so desperately low that k1to can take him out for free, and now Sicko really got to worry about two angles at once. Rotations, they're trying to come through, but they've got to clear out middle first, and they know it. It's going to be up to Sicko to make the play here. Fully blinded, he's trying to get aggressive up short. There's so much presence there, though, and as k1to takes him down, Xantares will trade the backstab, and while Hats is left 1v4, no teammates, no utility. Exit frag will come through. k1to will go down, but as you said, this was the opportunity for Big to start running away with the T side of Dust2. So Hats has got to try and save. He's got to try and keep the economy building for Renegades, give them something to work with in the next round, because otherwise 2,900 loss bonus, it's not going to look pretty.
No, not at all. I mean, maybe if he saves that over, they do decide to buy up around it, but even then, it's going to be a little bit dodgy for one of the players at least, so we'll see exactly what is decided. But yeah, 7 on the board for Big, maybe 8, depending on what exactly is brought into this next one. It does seem like Hats might be able to save. He's actually taking the fight, so hang on, maybe not. Even if he had a gun towards the spawn, he probably would have had to have just tucked in at the car. So yeah, did stick around on the ramp, gets spotted, gets his head taken straight off by the AK, and yeah, with that, no weapons to be carried over. If they kept it, at that point, they would have been like, yeah, probably buy up around this. You only have one player maybe left on an SMG or a FAMAS or something if they wanted to buy that for themselves. But no, without the weapon, it does seem like it's going to have to be just a few pistols, whatever they can afford to spend. And then a focus, really, to try and pull it back up to 7 rounds on the CT side, which would still be a great half, don't get me wrong. But having to do that all flawlessly pretty much then without dropping another round throughout the half is what obviously is going to be a challenge. So we'll see whether they can maybe come back and get a bit of revenge of their own with these pistols. Can they do it? Big were able to win one a round like this earlier, rushing in towards B. A little bit harder, I would say, to get done on the CT side, as you have to split your forces and you can't have all that power kind of concentrated into one area. But there is very capable players here for Renegades, and we have a flank currently coming up through mid, which I don't believe is being watched for the moment. Malta, though, he's going to be in trouble. Is it spreading to him? No, he might just get away with it. They have no idea. The shots are missed, though, Malta. That should have been his kill. And there is at least the trade from the nade, which has kept them distracted again for the flank of Alistar to come in, and he's gone ahead and stepped up for the double on the deagle. Suddenly it's all onto tabseN to try and save the day. A 1-on-2. It would beat a 1-on-4, I believe, if he makes it happen. But there's still 2 to go, and again, another flank is being prepared right now from Hats. Inns, he's given up the bomb site, falls back off on the scout, and doesn't want to give tabseN an inch to work with.
We wanted Renegades to pull something out of the bag, and they are doing it here. tabseN just 40 HP, a hit from that scout would finish it, but the one tap comes through instead. Nicely worked out from Hats. The flank does pay off. They do get the round on the board, Renegades. The pistols making it happen. Alistar, that flank was huge. Those 2 frags, absolutely critical. And yeah, as you said, tabseN caught between a rock and a hard place. Does well to even get 1 in that situation. The pincer movement was just too good from the CT side. And well, Renegades bailing themselves out of dodge here. They had a very awkward position economically to work with. They've got themselves the round on the board. Need to keep that momentum going, though. That's going to be the critical thing. Looking to take this long control early. T-side a little slim in the firepower department. Couple of players dropping down onto the Galils, but making up for it in speed here. Pop flash through. searsyn already all the way up short, clearing these angles. And Renegades, they have been struggling to take that map control CT side. That pistol round aside, you know, aside from the huge flank up mid, which obviously is a huge amount of map control, they've been struggling to really take the fight too big at times on this CT side. And once again, going to be forced to give up short control, conceding that portion of the map, bleeding more utility in the process, and already starting to run a little low on nades for my liking.
Yeah, well, you do have Sicko peeking in. You've also got searsyn initially posted up on the other side with his up, but they are getting ready now for a bit of an execute to come in. So we'll see whether Sicko can catch them or not. Escaping, though, is going to be an issue. As the first shot, indeed, it is connected. Actually just drops down into the spawn. The smoke as well makes things a bit more complicated for them as they go along. But only the head. That's all Sicko needs to see in order to connect, apparently. He's given them a very strong man advantage right now that they just need to retain for this retake. And, well, there was a chance given back to searsyn. Didn't hit it on the first shot, but k1to, there's no way he expects Alistar up close. Playing a very passive angle and allowing, of course, for that T to move in to give over the kill. But he's still left alone. Alistar in the 1-on-2 against searsyn and tabseN. Tezian, who at the moment don't really need to take this fight all that aggressively. They have the bomb down, they have the time working in their favor, and well, with a combination of the current position and the overall scoreline, all the pressure's on Alistair, and he decides that it is better to just back off and save that weapon again.
Needed his teammates to stay alive there. He got the pick, he got the frag on short, but as he was doing so, all his teammates were falling around him, and unfortunately, that economy's so fragile for Renegades on their CT side. Nothing there in the bank. He has to try and save the AK-47 to give them anything to work with moving forward, and Big, well, as much as hard resets aren't so much of a thing in this game, it's about as close as you can get in the current meta to one. The economy really awful for Renegades. Strong position for Big to work from. Already a guaranteed lead at the half, of course, on their map pick. And looking to add pain to misery as once again, the Eagles coming out for Renegades, and you can't expect them to pull that kind of play off again. That kind of big round where a little bit of chaos, a little bit of madness works out. Well, I say that, but Alistair straight up short is going to get himself an opening. Pop flashed in for more as well. I think he spotted the player on the right-hand side of top mid, but can't hang around to punish, of course, knowing that the firepower is distinctly lacking. And Big, once again, going back to their roots, this B bomb site, they have consistently targeted it. And at the moment, it's just Hats alone, just a Deagle to lock out this entire bomb site against 4 incoming Big Clan players. They're going to line up the utility as well. As it comes over the top, he'll call, but it's all going to be onto Hats, realistically. Needs at least 2 frags to make this even slightly viable. Smokes come over the top. There's the rotation. Alistair might actually make it into this site. Utility to back him up as well. Nice molly, and Hats has got the timing. 1, 2, 3 quick Deagle kills. And Searson, well, I said Renegades can't keep doing it. They want to. They want to prove me wrong. Inns will punish the last man. Hats with the Deagle spam will make it work yet again. And Big, well, they're just guilty of not clearing their angles.
Damn, I mean, to be fair, a bit preoccupied by the fact that the Molotov was burning them all, but yeah, it looked like they had a good setup there. Even with the flank that it was currently coming in through long doors from Renegades as well, they were taking a while to actually rotate those mid players into help. So it was Hats who had to step up big on the hold, and well, as you would expect with a name like Hats, he was on top of it. So here we go. It's the pistols again for Big. I'm never going to count them out with what we see in a few rounds back, but I mean, it's not great, and it is the full investment behind it as well. So if Renegades take this round, they should be looking up towards a 6th then pretty easily. And yeah, I mean, at that point, there'd only be 1 more gun round remaining for Big to try and add another to their total tally. So we'll see what can be done. They are closing in some distance, but not really doing so while taking any frags. Instead, it's Sicko, who gets 2 and then accidentally mollies himself. So he will be forced into the open and eventually take it out. And it could still get dangerous with the fights that are being taken, but unfortunately for Big, those Deagles are just not connecting.
I think Alistair has just done the most Australian CS thing I've ever seen. 1v4, a Deagle posted on short, and he's just jump peeking elevator with an AWP trying to no-scope a guy. I mean, it's bold, I'll give him that, but his teammate's there to bail him out, and luckily he doesn't get punished for it, especially when we talk about the economy on that CT side so much, and the double AWP. Losing that could have been more damage than they would have wanted. Instead, they do get the round on the board, they keep their 4 players alive, they finally deal with the Deagles, and as a result, this buy going to be a lot worse looking for Big Clan. As you said, the full investment in the previous. This time, just down to the scraps. 1 Deagle for Keto, P250 for Tizian, pop flash for Tabson. I mean, how much can you realistically expect them to get done? I think a frag somewhere on the board would be fantastic. Anything from there, really a bonus. But all credit to Renegades. Again, slow to start on this map, but starting to get back into it. Nice tag from Sicko as well on the jumping Xantaras across the doors. That Molotov well-timed, but not well-timed enough. Keto punishes Malta there to back his teammate up, however, and these eco frags starting to come through now. Still need to be a little cautious. That short control not expected. The double, triple ding from the Glock does punish, but Malta again, just an absolute anchor. Actually ends up with the ace in the round. Normally you'd be looking at that as eco frags, but really the stabilizing force on that long control. And Renegades, well, 6 rounds on the board. Honestly, this CT side's starting to click.
Yeah, this is already pretty good, especially when you note that they were down quite heavily in the opening moments of the half. So already 6 is decent. The 7th is very, very possible right now. Obviously, Big have a full buy coming back in, so they still have a shot at the 9th. But we're seeing Searson especially being incredibly slow here on that AWP, which once they swap over to the T side, could maybe be a bit of an issue as well. So we'll see if he can get going. He is on the op right now. But it is glass cannon, so you're a little bit more limited on the aggression and such in case you're getting naded. You can't really peek those long doors, for example, in the opening moments. Instead, he's just holding it from top mid, and well, we might see something happening in tunnels. It did seem like Xanthars was actually ready for that aggression, but no, against the op, it's only one bullet that's needed for Alistair. He gets that off, and with that, they do decide to just fall back in towards B. They've actually left the op pretty aggressive on the angle, which has allowed for them to start rotating back over towards A, which looks to be the correct decision, because Big are preparing the execute, and well, it's not going too well. Sicko, nice shot being connected, flashes in the air, just keeping them stagnant on short at this point and allowing for everyone to get into position.
Absolute worst place to be caught. On that elbow. Flashes raining in, no vision. No idea how you're going to get through to the site. Still yet to clear Sicko out on this ramp. Keto finally manages it. Fully blind, he'll find the connection. Secondary AWP, Alistair on short. Spotted out as well. Can't quite connect the shot. And Searson actually punishes Malta's early aggression on long. This is starting to fall apart ever so slightly. CT side have got some decent crossfires though, and Alistair and Inns will combine. It's all on Tizzy. A nice headshot for the first. But that bomb has dropped in the chaos. He's going to grab another. And Hat's in the 1v1, knows where his man is, will find the conversion. If he had bomb on his back, maybe they can do it. 8-7 at the half, and we'll have to see if Renegades can keep this momentum going after the break.
Malta has truly its finger on the digital pulse. Malta, game on. With 300 days of beautiful sunshine across the calendar year, it's the ideal location to take a load off, relax, and enjoy. Our World Heritage and UNESCO sites showcase the oldest megalithic temples in Europe, the breathtaking capital of Valletta, the silent city of Medina, and so much more. It's gamification in real life. Everything about Malta, namely its architecture, local village feasts, basilicas, entertainment scene, and multiple iconic film sets, make it truly unique. And with a vibrant video game studio ecosystem, major iGaming companies, tech startups, and esports companies hosted across the island, coupled with a passion for innovation, Malta has truly its finger on the digital pulse. Malta, home of gaming excellence.
I came to hit but never run. I would take on anyone. I got a feeling that it's just begun. It's my I got a feeling that it's just begun. It's my I got a feeling that it's just begun.
Renegades looking to do it again here. 8-7 at the half, a huge comeback. Looking to continue that form onto the T side. Big, interestingly, almost immediately leaving this A-bomb site relatively open. Ingression instead over towards short and mid. And well, a man caught with his nades out. Tizian goes down. Pressure immediately straight back on Big Clan. The short control is working out though. Good damage found by Searson. They're still going to get over to this bomb site. Wow, that nade is huge. And as Xantares takes Hats down through the smoke, they're trying to put the pressure on before the hit can even come in. Alistair though reads the boost perfectly, and well, what a way to get straight back into this second half. Man advantage there. Plenty of CT present still. Taps and pot flash through. Gets himself the double. And once again, CT side, they're just trying to aggress straight in. It's all on Ins in the 1v2. He's found his first. And Keto, well, he's stuck on that elbow once again. CT side on this occasion. Ins not quite connecting his shots. And with 40 HP left, looking for that fourth kill to add to his tally. Bomb stuck on the ramp. Keto will make the long rotation, resetting his angle. Ins will be allowed to grab that bomb and potentially get that plant dialed in as well.
Yeah, a little bit of extra money confirmed for everyone, at least there for Renegades, which could be useful in a force buy, but they want to win out this clutch, obviously. And Ins with the P250 is looking for it, and well, he's looking in the right direction as Keto does creep in from the spawn, but is he ready? Not quite. The flick is not landed. It's Keto instead to come out with his own double kill. A little bit of a spam on the body as he upgrades to the P250 as well, and Big, they're able to keep the lead. They're able to increase it a little bit here in the early moments of Dust2. And this is what we needed to see, basically, we said, after having Renegades wake up so dramatically. It was very reminiscent of what we had seen after the initial good start from Big back on Inferno as well. But they get that second pistol. As I mentioned, maybe a force spike could come in right now because of that bomb plant, and they are actually going to go for it. We'll see what way the AKs are dropped around, or maybe if they just go for the Galils with some firepower. But yeah, Alistair being given an AK by Malta. Galil for Hat. So you have a little bit of a mix here. You have the Scout for Sicko as well. And well, when you look at the firepower, it is honestly not that much better for Big. Maybe even a little bit worse with a couple SMGs as well. Obviously, don't nades. That is where Big do have the upper hand. So we can see, we'll see if they utilize those well to ensure that they don't drop to this force spy, because they cannot let that happen.
Can't be put in that situation again. Tizian trying to be proactive with the MP9, gets punished for it by Ins, and Alistair actually there to back his teammate up with the double nade. Yes, it trades him out, but so much damage already done, and Hat's already in a position to completely deny the rotations. I mean, that round has barely even started. There's still 1:28 on the clock, and they've managed to get the round on the board. That is complete insanity. The AKs and the Galils do all of the legwork, and Big, once again, immediately on the back foot on their CT side.
That was incredibly quick. There's obviously the massive double kill from Alistair, as you said, being traded by the nade, but who cared at that point? And then Hats just lines them up on the rotate on mid. They had to try and move over quickly. They were trying to be cautious of the position, but they couldn't really be incredibly so. Otherwise, they had no chance of getting towards A to hold off in time. Saracen, though, he's going to fire right back on the Scout there, peeking in on mid. Obviously, this force buy is nowhere near as good for Big as it was for Renegades in the previous round, but an early man advantage off the back of that Scout is going to help out big time now for them to feel a little bit less pressure while they sit back. Issue is, long control already taken by the AKs, where they know they're going to be favoured in those fights, and well, a frag being pulled back. In's even spotting now 2 players on mid. Xantares with a run and 1 dig. I don't think he was running as he hit the shot, but he did strafe across the doors and caught him off guard very clearly. So the man advantage again being retained for now by Big. They could certainly fire back with a force fly of their own, and it's beginning to look incredibly likely, as suddenly Hats is the only healthy player left for Renegades. It's not like Big themselves are looking fantastic with Keto and Xantares tagged up, but they do have the numbers, and they forced Renegades to fall back off. And look at the amount of control that Big have around tunnels and short.
We wanted Xantares to show on Dust2. He's making it happen in this force buy. Couple of frags already to his name. And Renegades sweating, stuck. Map control just completely lost at this point. And Alistair, a one-shot kill to that Scout as well. Eagle up close and personal. Should get a freebie. The reaction's good, though. Renegades not out of this one yet. 30 seconds left on the clock. They haven't got a smoke for the cross, and that's really going to become critical at this point. Nice pop flash, but they've got to get a man across. They've got to get that bomb into the plant spot, and Xantares with that recovered AK is punishing. It's all on Alistair in the 3-on-1, and so many headshot angles to try and clear out. He deals with the first man, but not expecting Keto. And well, Big, they bite right back. The battle of the force buys is well and truly in session, ladies and gentlemen. Big are not going to let this one go. And man, we have got a game on our hands on Dust2.
Oh yeah, we've an exciting one coming at the moment. Neither team is able to take control in these early moments. Back and forth, and Renegades do want to keep that going. Obviously, being on the T side, if they can come out on top of it and just make sure they do overcome one of those force buys, in theory, they do have it better. It's Big whose economy would suffer more. It's Renegades who would be forcing Big onto the weaker buys, as we even seen in the previous round. But yeah, now this time without the multiple AKs, it is Alistar who really needs to step up. He has a scout and a few pistols around him, and well, up close left on mid right now, there is Xantar is aggressive on his own. If they were able to catch him out, then perhaps there's an entry towards that B split. But no, it's actually Sirison who ends up catching the scout shot from, I believe that was around A. Indeed it was. Xantar is there to take a second frag and no longer really wanting to stick around too aggressively there while being tagged up. Doesn't want to give any openings back to Renegades, as this 3-on-5 is pretty firmly in the hands of Big.
Definitely feels like a round they shouldn't be letting slip away. Malta in a decent spot here, and Keto looking completely the wrong way. Will get caught in transition. Xantara's on 28 HP, a little bit vulnerable out towards the car, and suddenly Renegades firing on all cylinders once again. The damage has been done, converted on as well onto Searson, and well, Tizian.
Yeah, his lads.
He's left 1v3. Hat's low HP, certainly a vulnerable man to it. Expecting the man close, gets 2 tags off with the Deagle before he goes down, and Malta already in such a great spot. There's no way Tizian expects this. And with just 3 HP to work with, how do Renegades ever make that work? Malta, just a one-man army. Somehow Tizian on 3 HP has managed to get away top mid with the MP9, but that's not the concern right now. Big, again, getting caught out by force buys that, in all honesty, are getting worse and worse as the rounds go on. And that nade, well, that'll finish the job, surely. Yep, Malta gets the frag. It's a very much a team effort. Triple from him. And the punishment just keeps on coming for Big Clan. CT economies, they do not withstand these back and forth force buys. And you can see they've got essentially nothing to work with here. And realistically, they've got to force again.
I'd like to apologise to all the Big fans for very clearly cursing that. They've got it firmly in their hands right now. No, got wrecked. I mean, I was a little bit scared then, even when they started hunting down the final player around mid. But obviously, Tizian, he got brought to 2 health even by that first player. Oh, straight up B rush. There's no one here either. So this is perfectly set up right now for Renegades to hopefully actually take this round and tie things up, and I'll finally chain together something for one of these sides here on the second half of Dust2. I wouldn't even mind the full save at this point for Big. Give this exact same round a go in the following one and try and do something then, because it's not like you're going to pull off a retake with no kit, no nades other than a flash of smoke and a HE, and obviously just some pistols and a scout. So yeah, that's what they're doing. They're going to go ahead and save. They'll let Renegades take this one. They would have been full eco in the next round anyway, so it's not like they would have been buying much, so instead they'll just have this, and that'll give them a chance to do something before they go into that next gun round. By that point though, most likely it should be Renegades back in the lead at 11-10.
They've had their opportunities. They've had their chances to punish, to build themselves this CT half, to put them in prime position to take this to that third map of Mirage. And you have to say at times they've squandered them. Renegades doing a fantastic job of punishing everything that Big are willing to give them. And as we draw out at 10 apiece, as you said, Big are going to have another go with the exact same force buy of the previous. The money behind it will be saved into the next round to try and give them that rifle buy. It really does feel like they need something at this point, though. A little bit of magic has to come from somebody. Keto currently the only player with a positive KD, despite the scoreline being 10-all. I think that says all you need to know, with 4 players over on the Renegade side of things with a positive KD. A nice nade initially, and it looks like it's the exact same call again of this B rush. And again, this time just Tizian, but it's not enough. Inns is just going to walk his way in, and this time at least, Big, they've almost got to give this a go. I mean, maybe save the armor on the 3. That's something, I guess, but it's going to be the lead for Renegades if they do.
Malta's like, can I plant there, please? Please, bro? Yeah, they will eventually get it down. This is just rough because, I mean, yeah, okay, let's look at it this way. We've seen Big have a pretty good start. I think they went up 5-0 initially on the first half, of course. But the difference was their economy was always kept modest. Renegades were doing damage. At the moment, the Renegades live with 5 players, especially in this round. Their economy is going to be in an absolutely fantastic position, so Big will have a bit more work to do to break them down. You can see that's why they're obviously looking for exits with these weapons that they saved from the previous round. So far, though, only 1 kill being found. That's not going to have all that much impact, and even then, if weaker weapons are retained by Renegades, they are just probably going to take that bonus round approach. We'll see. Sirison might even be given a chance here. I don't think he necessarily wants to hang on to that scout all that much. You definitely want to be getting the op out if possible in this next round, but it would be glass cannon as well if he does want to bring it into play. So it'll be interesting to see if he decides to get that upgrade or not.
A big call in the context of the match as well. Economy on tenterhooks. He's still not going to be pretty for Big. They'll get everything they need, sure, but Tizian will drop down on the FAMAS, and Searson, he's going to stick with it by the looks. He had to drop the M4, I think, across to Quito, so stuck with the scout for now. I mean, he is one of the most proficient scout players in the world, so not of too much concern for Big Clan, but Renegades, I'm sure, will be looking for ways to exploit that lack of firepower, even if it is slight. They get the AWP out onto Alistair, so a trade would come in favor of him. Renegades just slowing it down initially. That's a flick. Alistair, what a way to remove Xantares from the equation initially. A huge opening frag to find. And once again, Renegades, early man advantage to try and leverage. And you can see Big, they know they need to do something about it. Tabson, nice utility in through the door. Going to take a couple of players down. Sicko absolutely chewing on it, but still the man advantage, of course, retained. And Renegades, they've just got to play this smart now. Trade efficiently, and this round is yours. Molotov might isolate Malta, but the gun's going to have to come out instead. Alistair will surely swing on this angle at any point. Tabson playing with fire. I think he's been heard, but he's going to catch the pick. Looking for more. The spray down doesn't connect. And now Quito is completely alone on that B-bomb site. They're actually not going to go for the commitment. I thought they were going to head straight for it. Instead, they'll loop back around as Tizian takes long control. It's going to be Searson on this scout. I've hyped him up. He needs so much to do, and Malta, he is not giving him an inch. Again, a 4v2 for Big Clan to try and consider. Already, the afterplant position so strong for the T side. And I think if Tizian doesn't get an early pick here, this round is done. And yeah, Quito, he's been forced to back out of it almost immediately. Hatch just lurking in mid. Doesn't even have to connect this shot. Just has to show the presence and make absolutely sure Big know there is no way they're getting into that round.
Oh yeah, they know. I'm loving the calls at the moment. Even just as soon as they could to go in and try and exploit that kill on mid, falling back away. It seems like everything is on point for Renegades. Things are just clicking in this matchup against Big, and I'm loving to see it. Because as we had said, obviously they hadn't won a single map even prior to today in Pro League. They didn't have a great time at IEM Katowice play-ins where they had very little time beforehand to actually fit Alistair into the roster. So that was understandable. And also didn't really have much time between the games of Pro League, even with them just being back-to-back from day to day. Do you get me? So it does seem like there's been some massive improvements. The only thing is, it's the two maps that we had seen them choose throughout the series as well, so I'm hoping that we'll be able to see them expand on the map pool a lot more, but obviously this isn't even over yet. We're at 12-10 right now. It's big we're calling in a pause because they are really beginning to feel that pressure. And look at the scoreboard. As you said, Quito is the only one who's really stepping up. He's actually gone ahead and put himself up at 22-14 right now. Sirison is having a really poor performance at 6-14, which you can't afford for your upper when you do also have the up actually performing to a decent level over on the side of Renegades, especially back on the first half. On the T side here, it's not as quick or anything. Like, they've slowed down a little bit. Sicko's only on 12 at the moment with it, but when they had Alistair rocking it as well on the CT side, both of those ops were just so impact, and we're not getting the same from Sirius. And to be fair to them, they're not really getting the economy to make it happen either.
It's an awkward spot to be caught in between a rock and a hard place. Needs something to work for him, and maybe this buy will be it. They're going to get the AWP in the hands of Searson. EK saved across. A little bit of investment here and there. Not the full buy, however. Xantares and Tabson will stick around on the P250s. Really relying on that backbone of Tizian, Quito and Searson, the three rifles in the equation, to get it all done. Needing those players to show up. Long control going to be taken. Tizian fully blind. That's a rifle removed from the equation instantly. Searson does well to trade, but now the AWP's position's known. They're just going to go. Malta deals with Xantares. It's only the P250 for Tabson to try and do it all. The short control, a little awkward because there is a man there. Sicko trades it out though, and now Searson under so much pressure. Quito miles away on that B-bomb site. He'll start to make his rotation in. 3-on-2 to commit to as the bomb goes down. Quito does have a defuse kit. This one not necessarily a done deal just yet, but the afterplant position's already looking good for Renegades. Quito will try and make his way in through CT. Sicko caught on the elbow. Headshot angle to show the AK. It's a risky move, but Inz is there to bail his AWPer out. The trade leaves Searson needing this clutch. We said he's been quiet. He needs to show up now. And, well, Renegades, they're giving him nothing. That bomb is ticking down. His footsteps, his positioning will be heard. The round is going to go their way, and he just has to try and save that AWP. You can look over at the finances. They are done. They need to save that AWP if it's going to have any impact in the following rounds. And, well, Renegades, they'll stretch that lead just a little bit further. Thank you very much.
Getting closer and closer to making this 2-0 happen. The op, as you mentioned, is saved over. They're going to be able to buy around it, but if this one goes south for big, they won't actually have all that much. They'd be able to just about scrape out a buy in the next round at that point to try and basically stop it from going to overtime if they wanted to. But it wouldn't be fantastic, and it'd be an awkward position whether they would want to actually try and take the eco for an overtime or not. So it's not where you want to see Big being, especially after they struggled to obviously to get the close on Inferno, and then as soon as they were on the back foot, they just never got going again. So yeah, it's a scary spot with the context of Inferno especially still in the back of my mind. It looks like Saracen's going to get some chances here on short, but he's mollied out. Tries to get the smoke down on it so he can escape, but no, he is going to be dropped, and Inns pushes out through mid at the exact same time rather to catch Tabson, and suddenly it's a 5-on-3. If they bring this towards A, which is looking pretty likely with the positioning in the longhouse and short, and with a player now in the CT spawn, it's only Tizian to hold this off.
Got to do it all. Renegade slowing things right down, and he can't find the pick either. Hats deals with the man, and again, Big just getting schooled on Dust2 straight up. Searson forced out by the utility. It's an awkward timing, but In's getting another pick there, and I mean, they can afford to hunt Renegades, and they know it. Keto only going to be able to find one with the AWP before he's traded out. Xantares really needs to hold on to this M4. It's going to be 14 for Renegades. He tries, he misses, and Malta again with the punishment. Renegades just kicking it up a level here. They do not want to go out of Pro League with 0 victories. They want to bring something home to Australia with them. Hats the standout in the round, but Renegades just kicking at all levels at the moment, and Big do not have anything to match them. They've managed to, again, invest into the AWP for Searson. They're really hoping that he can come out with something huge, but the rest of the team are on Deagles and P250s.
And well, yeah, that's not helpful. Searson being taken down already in the exchange there with the op for Sicko coming out on top. You do have the op in the hands of Keto still, and then a couple of P250s and one Deagle then to back it up. Very few nades, and I had said I wasn't sure whether they were going to go for this eco to try and play for the overtime or not, but yeah, it seems like they do think that they need everything to make this work, and that makes sense at the moment they are being punished. Oh, the timing. Inns, he probably won't be looking back for a little while at least, so Tizian, he has the chance to maybe catch someone. If he had more than a P250, this would be huge, but getting more than a kill, I would say, is going to be a very difficult time, and indeed, only able to find the one before being traded out on. But now the issue is, Renegades aren't sure exactly where all of this aggression could have come in from. They don't really have a lot of info. They've spotted Tabson now as well in the spawn, so they're wondering what the hell is going on. They're all around us, but if they can punish this, if they can stick together, then it should still be their round. But look at how much damage was done right there. Not another kill from Tabson, but you've got 3 players now on the brink of death, meaning that Deagle especially is going to be incredibly dangerous. For Keto, it doesn't make as big of a difference, to be honest.
This is going to be the issue. It's honestly the worst possible spot for this AWP, but switching to the Deagle, he finds the second. Trade does come through. And now it is Xantares. There are a plethora of rifles, practically an armory available. You will get to pick one of those up. Bomb actually going down for long. I don't think Alistair's going to expect this fast flank at all. So, oh, the timing. Oh, he spots it. Can't land the shot, though. Gives the information across. Sicko does have that AWP, despite being on just 26 HP. Drops to the elevator as well, completely evacuating the site, legged. And he tries to go for the conversion. It doesn't come through. Big, they needed a hero. They needed a big round, and Xantares is going to be the man to provide it to them. 11 on the board. It's not going to get any easier, don't get me wrong. Renegades have very strong economy. They will keep buying into this, but that's a lifeline for Big on their CT side, and they need to grab it with both hands.
Oh yeah, that keeps them afloat for a bit longer right there. It's a close one, though. Down to the one-on-one. As you said, money right back in for Renegades. They've still even got enough left for another buy after this one, so you need to see Big chaining together rounds here like they haven't been able to yet on the CT side of Dust2. And, well, like they haven't really done since that initial streak of rounds they found going up 5-0. So, yeah, it's a tough spot to be in still. They need to make sure now that that's actually fired them up and that they can pretty much have a flawless CT side from this point on if they want to get the win here. without having to actually take it to an overtime. So yeah, we'll see. Oh, nice timing by Alistair. Willing to tank the nade damage in order to actually give over the man advantage. And with both short and long control potentially now going the way of Renegades, these A players are under so much pressure. Seriously, you can see having to drop the smoke to try and cover himself off a little bit, and it does work fantastically to catch Inns, who wasn't able to get the vision. So it's going to be back into the 4-on-4 at least, but it's still a pretty good position for Renegades. Oh, never mind. Keto's got one on B.
That does it. That forces them. They've got no control to work with now. They wanted to reroute. They wanted to go towards that split in towards B. Instead, all three at this point funneled into middle. Xantares only has to trade 1-for-1 at this spot. Such an awkward angle to clear. And look at the aggression as well. Keto on the other side of the match is pushing in. Alistair, though, again opening things up for his team. Keto's position now becomes absolutely critical. This frag could seal the round single-handedly, and he's going to catch a man with a knife out. Alistair, no idea about that aggression, and here comes more of it. Tabson pushing down, catches the timing. Sicko, his knife out, nothing he can do. He goes down, and Hats, what have you got for us, mate? 1v3, bomb dropped in those mid doors with 30-odd seconds left. Some pretty awkward angles to clear as well. Tabson should have spotted him on the shoulder peak. Can't connect the initial, does find the headshot. 20 seconds left. Both remaining players on the AWPs as well, and I don't think you can understate that. They know there's damage on the board, so Searson will switch it out to the Deagle. He can isolate these 1v1s at the very least. Searson just ducking in on that ramp, not wanting to give anything away. The sound cue should come through with 8 seconds left. Should be able to deny this bomb plant as well. Hats might be able to wing it down. Timing not there. 12th on the board for Big. They're starting to reel Renegades in just a little bit. Momentum starting to swing their way, and saving those double AWPs as well. Critical for the CT economy.
Yeah, absolutely huge. The two main weapons. I mean, ideally you want to be living with more players than just two, but it is the main weapons, at least, that they carry over, so it doesn't leave them without that double up setup, which at the moment does seem to be working out incredibly well for them. Keto is just on one. He's getting close to that 30 bomb at this point, and, well, probably is going to hit it with quite a few rounds remaining, at least 2 of them. Inns, oh, it looked like he was going to have to drop on Tizian, but no, it actually ends up being 2 for Tizian. Hats a little bit later on, tries to follow up through the smoke, but ends up, I believe, getting caught by a flash and just being free pickings pretty much for Tizian. As again, it is early advantages towards Big. Renegades left on the back foot, wanting to try and creep this out mid with all 3 remaining players, and we'll see whether they can make it now through that smoke or not. The flash into the spawn to let the peak of the op come true. We're not actually finding anyone really peeking in at the moment from Big, though. They don't want to give any chances. Instead, Keto is watching it from the window, but that's allowed potentially for a player to creep up close. Look, he has no idea. Alistair's already up at the doors, and there we go. Suddenly 2 frags come in for Renegades. They get full control of B, and unless Big get a quick kill from this, they may even have to consider a save. Look at the money.
Oh, leg on the drop might just convince them. Crossing, risky for Alistair, and he does nearly get punished. Takes the tag. You can see Big thinking about this, but Malta is already ready with that Molotov. Just knows he has to buy time at this point. Dump what utility you can. There's another molly on Alistair as well. If he stays hidden behind the car, pop flashes in Big. They want to give this a go, and that's a huge pick. Tabson finds his man. Tizian, very little health to work with. The Molotov burning, but it's Malta finding the frags, and time is so desperately low. There's nothing they can do, surely. Tabson has to stick this. He's going for it as well, and Searson's protected him. It's not going to be enough, though. Renegades will still get the round regardless. The timing, not quite there. And at that point, the economy is utterly broken for Big. Let me just repeat that. They have no money to work with in this round. It's going to be a buy of whatever they can afford, but it's not going to be good.
This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. The timing for Alistair there just to creep up close to the doors, and then when you eventually see the wide swing back in from, I believe it was Searson up on the window, he just gets absolutely demolished. 2 instant frags from the 5-on-3 into a 3-on-3 with a round fully in control of Renegades within just seconds. And they want to rush out B right now, knowing the economy is so weak for Big that the nades are not quite there, but there is still weapons up close to the smokes that absolutely demolish the push, as this at least should be Big's round right now, up to 13. And again, it seems like whenever they're down and out, at the moment they are just able to keep on snatching those lifelines. The issue is they've ran out of backup chances at this point, so they will need to make sure, of course, they take it smoothly from now on to get that overtime. But Inns, he wants to try and make it a little bit costly. Is he ready for the flank? Actually even spotted it. I was a little bit scared there for Tizian. The MP7 wasn't the ideal weapon, but yeah, with the damage that was done, he goes ahead and finishes that off, even gets a bit of an upgrade. And, well, 3 AKs for Big, and honestly a pretty straightforward shot to overtime with the economy that's at this point wrecked for Renegades. Obviously they lived with no one in that previous round. The one that they did win, that is. Obviously lived with no one in the one before because they lost that one.
Such an awkward spot. They don't look like they entirely know what to do either.
Oh.
Inns has bought, and well,
Rip.
he's made it work initially. That's something. Pick through the doors onto Quito to open things up, and to be fair, if you were picking any one player on that big clan team right now who you wanted a freebie of a pick on the mid-cross to, it would be Quito. They didn't buy around this, though. There's a couple of Deagles on the board. Largely Glocks, though, and those nades going to do work. Tagging up a couple of men. Searson should have an absolute shooting range here. That's if Tizian doesn't get to it first. Trying to spam away. Searson there to back his rifler up. The man advantage will be traded down. I think any damage they can get here is good for Renegades. And well, Inns and Sicko, they want to finish this here and now. A frag apiece, 2 quick headshots, and they're going to pile the pressure on. Or are they? Smoke pushes them back. It looked like they just wanted to barrel there, and I can't blame them. Searson, only a scout to work with. Too many men, too many angles. Malta takes him down. How has this happened? It's the 1v4 for Xantares. We've bigged him up. We've hyped him up. There's so many targets. The nade and the AK combine. Bomb down in a very awkward position as well. Inns needs to get this frag, and it's Malta who does it. Renegades, they didn't have a single victory in Pro League, and they take down the 7th ranked team in the world. Big are the men to fall. What a performance from the Australians.